Hey everyone, Diego Reyes, functional health coach, functional nutritionist, and today I'm going to bring you through a client case study that I had talking about a GI map. Okay, so we use the GI map, which is called Gastrointestinal Microbial Assay Plus. This is a comprehensive DNA stool analysis that we use with clients with IBS, IBD conditions, we use with skin issues, and then severe autoimmune issues as well. What this test is for is to get a more deeper look, comprehensive look at what's going on with the microbiome. As you may know, as I begin to teach you, a lot of diseases, chronic health conditions stem from poor gut health, either from increased permeability, different types of uh, digestive problems, and so forth. So I'm going to be going over a GI map to help you kind of explain what could be truthfully going on with your specific condition, because we even use this with clients that deal with weight loss resistance as well, because your gut microbiome plays a huge role with your metabolism. Okay, so there's several different pages to the GI map, and these aren't all the pages, but this is just a good, clear overlook at what each page is about, more so, and hopefully to give you some more education and kind of understanding what could be going on with your specific gut problems or even chronic health condition. And so, with the first slide, this is it from a client that we had. He was struggling with severe insomnia that actually stemmed from gut health, poor gut health. He was obviously struggling with the bloating, the constipation, the diarrhea, and it went back and forth. So it was like some days constipation, some days diarrhea, and then to top it all off, the neurological issues such as brain fog, fatigue, and all those. So, what the pathogens are pretty much different types of viral bacteria that can get caused by, poor food and water. These are things like E. coli, which are known as a, different type of virus that many individuals can have. Next was the Helicobacter pylori, which is an overgrowth that can occur from a lot of different problems, but mostly with clients that we see with Helicobacter pylori, they have some type of reflux issues. Okay. But let's get into what was wrong with this client. So this client had low Akkermansia, which is basically like a metabolic marker that can come from the gut microbiome. So this was obviously impairing his blood sugars actually. So he was dealing with a lot of blood sugar issues that were, causing him to be having those mood swings throughout the day. He would get these severe crashes and all of that. All right. Another thing was a bacterial phyli, which is some type of issue where he wasn't able to digest and assimilate nutrients properly. Okay. And then the biggest thing was that he was dealing with a lot of different overgrowths. Now, this isn't technically a diagnosis, but clearly you can see there was SIBO going on, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So, what this is essentially where there was an overgrowth of all different types of bacteria. Each one was high and way out of range. Okay. There was zero yeast or candida, which was really good to hear, and zero viruses and zero parasites. Okay. But many individuals that do these tests, they can actually see there's a lot of parasites that sometimes happen and they don't even know about. Same with fungi and yeast. And then when we looked at his um, intestinal health markers, which is really his gut lining, mucosal lining is what an individual can say. He was, way out of range for regulatory IgA, meaning he had immune response. So he had a lot of immunological issues, but that was actually causing a lot of acne. So he was eating different foods and he had a lot of food sensitivities from that. So then he was getting a lot of immunological inflammatory responses from food, giving him acne. Another one was anti-gliadin IgA, which this is a gluten marker. So we can clearly see with this test that he has some form of gluten sensitivity, not to the full blown point where it's celiac disease, but we know there's some issues there with gluten. Okay, so now let's get into what we did for him. So, like I do with the rest of my clients, is we run a 5R gut protocol. Okay, so what we do here is the first portion is to reduce. He was going out a lot. You may be going out a lot and you have a lot of alcohol. You take a lot of NSAIDs. These are different types of, uh, you know, pain medication. So these are acetaminophen, ibuprofen. Yeah, there was a lot of different starches that he was eating that were processed, a lot of different wheat, gluten. That's why he dealt with this. So we had to reduce these things and then follow an anti inflammatory diet. Next thing is we need to remove. So when we look back up here, there was a lot of different bacteria overgrowths going on. So how do we actually use this? Because we don't want to use just straight antibiotics because that's just going to do more harm than good. So we want to remove with antimicrobial herbs. And what's nice is that we knew that it was just antimicrobial herbs he needed. He didn't need any antifungal herbs because he didn't have any type of fungus or yeast going on. He just had an overgrowth of opportunistic bacteria, which is pretty much negative gram bacteria, not the good bacteria you want overgrowth. With commensal, you'd like the diversity, okay, but you don't want that with different types of opportunistic bacteria. So we used herbs like oregano oil, and then we use colloidal silver, and then we use berberine. So we use these, okay? But here's the trick. So what we did here was um, oregano. The thing here is that we use something called biofilm support. So what this is that biofilm, you actually can't really detect it here on GI maps and really kind of any test. There's some tests, but for the majority of tests, they don't really measure biofilm disruptors that well. So what we used was a biofilm disruptor. And what that is biofilm is like the hard to get bacteria that normally, this is why many individuals don't feel good even after taking all these holistic herbs for their gut microbiome, because they don't address the biofilm. So when we did this, we used biofilm disruptor. So we used, there's a name brand that I'm affiliated with, a pharmaceutical grade company called Biofilm Resolve. So this really helped eradicate any of the bacteria that could be missing from just using these normal antimicrobial herbs. And then a big part is that we use liver support. So when you're killing off this bacteria with these antimicrobials and these biofilm disruptors, it needs support to actually get out of your body. And that's why you want to use liver support. That's why we use liver support with him. And it was using Metapure was a big one. This is another name brand supplement, and then something called OptiPure. So these have a lot of the herbs like milk thistle, NAC, glutathione to help with that phase, those phases of detoxification out of your liver so you can excrete them through urine and even stool, but obviously mostly stool. Okay. Another big thing is that we used adrenal support. Okay. This is important because when you're dealing with these gut microbiome issues, they can stem from poor endocrine function. Okay. So we used adrenal and thyroid support. Okay, this is all important because your thyroid gland actually plays with your motility. This is why people with hypothyroidism or even Hashimoto's struggle with a lot of constipation and bloating because it slows down the gut motility, and that can actually lead to these type of issues with the opportunistic bacteria. Okay, so we use that. We use things like ashwagandha, and then we used a supplement called Thyro Boost. These are all name brand supplements that have all the ingredients, nutrients, bioavailable, glandular support that all supports the adrenals and the thyroid gland. All right, so we ran this for, you'd actually be surprised. We ran this for 12 to 16 weeks, and we rotated some of the herbs. We rotated the biofilm disruptor. We went through 2 bottles, and we kept the liver and adrenal support in. Okay, by the 16th week, he was pretty much becoming asymptomatic. He dealt with pretty much zero bloating, zero constipation. His skin cleared up, and then obviously that huge boost in energy. And so, with that being said, the last part we had to do was replace and pretty much repair. So what this is we wanted to replace the digestive enzymes because a lot of the digestive enzymes weren't properly getting used throughout the digestive tract because he was dealing with all these overgrowths. So we gave him like hydrochloric acid, which is something that helps with the digestion stimulation of food. We also gave him pancreatic enzymes to help break down fats. We help bile salts to help break down. We use pancreatic enzymes to break down protein. We use bile salts to help break down his fats. Okay, and so forth. And then the last phase is what we did, which was 4 weeks long, was a repair. So when you go in and you deep clean the gut, this is why many individuals do these gut protocols and they don't feel better because they don't actually adequately repair the gut lining. So what we use things that help repair these all these intestinal health markers. Okay, so we use name brand supplements like Tummy Rescue, which is zinc carnosine. Okay, we also use something called glutagenics, which is actually a glutamine and aloe vera mixture. Both of these are super good. L-glutamine is a super good amino acid that feeds into your epithelial cells in your gut lining. Okay, so we use that, and then we use something that helps replace or reinoculate, okay, so to say, reinoculate the good bacteria. Okay, so we use things like higher FODMAP foods, okay, because it has the higher prebiotics in them. Okay, we used a probiotic strain with Lactobacillus bifidobacterium. Okay, and this is the part you don't want to add these in right away. You have to kill the overgrowth first before you add in the good bacteria again. Okay, more fiber went into the diet. Okay, and then there was gut lining repair was the other one to help with the repair phase. Okay. And we ran this for 4 weeks. And by 4 weeks, he had a total transformation. He had more energy, better digestion, zero acne. And then obviously, the more sleep than ever before. His quality of sleep dramatically went up. His sleep scores went up. And then his even blood sugars became stable. Okay. So if you're an individual and you're struggling with severe gut issues, autoimmune issues, even weight loss resistance, an IBS issue, IBD even too, this test would definitely be of help. And this is exactly what I do inside the Complete Vitality Functional Health Coaching Program. So if you want to be done suffering, get to the true root cause and take a holistic approach, transform from the inside out, then message me at root cause today.